Hey, everybody. It's your girl here again, Dr. Mac, also known as Apostle Michelle. Listen, I wanted to just quickly share with you about the good news and the repeated news, if you will, that Unveil and Be Healed is coming to yet another city near you. Listen, our reflection from Groton, Connecticut a few weeks ago, when I tell you God showed up and he showed out. There were several women that came from abroad. They were not necessarily in the direct region, meaning that they were not just from the local city. Some drove as much as 2 or 3 hours from other states over into Groton to meet us at the lake house where we actually demonstrated what God wanted in that particular region. He wanted healing to take place. He wanted deliverance to take place. He wanted some folks to simply connect dots. He needed some other people to connect with one another from one city to the next, sharing in the same experiences so that they would have an iron sharpening iron moment, if you will. And when I tell you, God literally blew my mind, as he always does, right? He always says, when we are faithful over the little, he will make us ruler over much. And what I mean by that is because I said yes to the assignment, not knowing the totality of it, but simply because I exercised my faith, trusting God in the assignment, in the vision that he set forth. He provided everything. When I tell you, from the venue to the food, from the food to the people, which the people were most important, if you know what I'm saying. But let me tell you something. Let me just give you a little glimpse of what happened. So when I tell you the warfare was real in preparation up until the day before we actually landed in that particular region, it was so much crazy stuff going on, from the rental car to the airport, to just different things manifesting. And I was there for a moment. I said, okay, God, I know I heard what you said, but this stuff that's going on right here, let me tell you something. When I tell you God met us and it was all for a reason, I believe that it was also a test of my faith to make sure that I was not going to turn my yes into a no, but rather to press forward, to meet the women of God where they were. Some probably saved, some not saved. It didn't matter. God wanted to meet them in the room, to meet them right where they were, to meet their needs that were, some of them needed to be healed. They got it. Some of them need to be delivered. They got that too. And then they got some extra on top of that. So you can just say we got a full course meal, right? Let me tell you just a little glimpse. The day before, I found out once we got into the city that the main entryway that gets us to the venue, which was a bridge, there was an explosion that happened on the bridge and they had to shut the entire bridge down. But you know what? It didn't shake me, nor did it move me, because in that moment, I said, okay, God, you allow this thing to happen. That's letting me know that you are about to show up on behalf of the women of God. Yes, interesting. There was a man that was in the room as well, and he got something too. He got something that he needed before he left that place. And so I'm saying all that to say this: don't discount what God has for you. Don't minimize what God has for you. And do not put limitations on God. Just because you don't know the individual does not mean that God cannot move. And in fact, not only did he move in Groton, we were able to also minister to a few people outside of the respective place, if you will. And I thank God for me yielding to my obedience, because in that room, I left there with a wow moment. I left there with tears in my eyes. I left there when I say I had a wow moment, I left there just overwhelmed by the goodness of the Lord. What I witnessed, just being a vessel to pour into the women and the men of God, just to see how God met them where they were, because they said yes, because they were yielded, because they were hungry for what God had. They were tired and sick and tired of being tired of the same mundane thing, the same place where they were. And they said, God, I want something different. I want something more. I need to be renewed. I need to be refreshed. I need to be delivered. And yes, I need to be healed. And because they trusted God and they stood on his word. Let's just say they stood on Jeremiah 17 and 14. Right. And we know Jeremiah 17 and 14, and where the Bible says, heal me, O Lord, and I will be healed. Save me, and I will be saved, for you are the one that I praise. And then he went on to say, great gift ideas get from one. Great ideas. You have a great idea in your mind about you being delivered, about you being healed, about you being restored, all of those things, and God will meet you where he is. He will give you the gift of deliverance. He will give you the gift of healing, and he'll give you that and so much more. And because these women trusted the God on the inside of me, they got that and more. In addition to that, their bonus was they were able to connect with one another. Some of them knew each other, a lot of them did not, and it did not matter. The beauty of it was for me to just see from afar, to watch these women come from the north, the south, the east, and the west, and they come together, and many of them did not know each other, but that did not matter. What they did instead was they allowed themselves to come together, to open up, to become vulnerable, and they became naked in the presence of God so that he can be their doctor, if you will. And so I just wanted to share that with you leading up to our next Unveil coming to Las Vegas, Nevada. Listen, I am super excited yet again, waiting for the mighty move of God. Meet us in the room at the Hampton Inn Tropicana Event Center on August 11th, the evening of August 11th, and the morning and early afternoon of August 12th. Listen, we're going to have some profound worship and some soaking, which we always lead that because we want to usher God in the room. We don't want to usher anything else in the room. We want to usher God and Holy Spirit in the room, so the room will be saturated, so the atmosphere will be set for God to come in to do what he needs to do. Did you know that healing and deliverance is a part of our self-care? Many of us don't know that, but I wanted to just quickly remind you that healing and deliverance is a part of our self-care, to which many of us neglect. Unfortunately, we neglect it, and we neglect it. And so what happens is many times we prioritize others, other things, other people, other places, and all of that to get what they need. And in the midst of all of that, we forego what we need, right? And so it's time to stop neglecting ourselves. It's time to stop neglecting our deliverance. It's time to stop neglecting our healing. It's time to stop neglecting our restoration, and whatever it is that we need that we are neglecting ourselves from. It is time to put a halt to it. It is time for us to stop and come on and get what you need so that you can be more effective in this earth. Come out and experience God, our deliverer, and God, our heal, along with signs, along with the miracles, and along with the wonders from on another level for yourself. Listen, if you get what you need, then you can help the next person get what they need, right? And so come on in the room again. Meet us on August 11th and August 12th at the Hampton Inn Tropicana Event Center this year in Las Vegas, Nevada. Listen, the tickets are only $25. We spend more than $25 on fast food. We spend more than $25 on things that really mean us no good, things that don't even satisfy our soul longevity. They don't mean us any good. They don't help us to grow spiritually. They don't help to sustain what we need, but rather just a temporary desire, right? And so I want to invite you out. Come on in the room. We're going to have not only myself, I'm going to partner with Pastor Delshana Moore, who is one who resides in that region. We're going to come together. We're going to collaborate, and we're going to help you get whatever it is if you need. If you have any additional questions, feel free to send an email. Send that email to info@drmichellefoster.com. That's info@drmachellefoster.com. And meet us in the room. Listen, the tickets are on sale currently at Eventbrite. We will go ahead and post that information, but get on in the room while you have time. Don't wait until it's too late, and then you will miss out on what you've been seeking God for. Don't wait until it's too late, because you've been knocking on heaven's door because you're needing something. Yes, I have seen the manifestation of natural of healing take place, where a woman who who was walker bound, she began to walk without the walker. I have seen where people have come in who have had massive things going on the inner parts of their body, and they walk away healed. I've seen and I witnessed with my own eyes where people were experiencing mental torment, where they were experiencing emotional torment and things of that nature, where God met them where they were because they were hungry, because they said yes, and their yes was their yes because they were sick and tired of literally being sick and tired, and they trusted what God was going to do in that hour. And when I tell you, God met them and he exceeded their expectations. And if he did it for them, what makes you think he won't do it for you? Meet us in the room. Join us August 11th and 12th in Las Vegas, Nevada. Excuse me, Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm getting tongue-tied here. Tongue-tied here at Unveil and be healed. Unveil and be healed. Listen, we want to see you there.